Hello and welcome to another one of those Tinto Talk videos where we talk about what Tinto Talks is talking about. And today we have been blessed by this benevolent god with a new map. And this was basically asked for in this thread here. Let's pray to Johan that we want a map tomorrow. And he did, in fact, oblige. He gave us a map, and if we want to look at it a little bigger, it is a map here of Western Java, over in Indonesia, in the, Spice Islands. And thing I wanted to point out mostly is just kind of how cool it looks. I'm really quite growing fond of this map style, and I love that we can see trees on here now. The jungles, forests. Yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. I do expect there to still be a more terrainy map mode that we'll be able to see actual models of trees, I assume, and such. And we have it slightly confirmed that there are going to be castle models from another comment that was made recently. So definitely looking forward to seeing other kind of map styles. That's going to be quite important for me. But anyway, let us get into Tinto Talks number 8. And here we have it. On to the 8th iteration of the Tinto Talks, where we talk about what we're doing in a very secret future game with the codename Project Caesar. Completely unrelated. I don't really believe it is unrelated, but there was an announcement trailer for EU4 Winds of Change, the new DLC there. Totally unrelated, though, clearly. Honestly. Swear down. No cap on all that. I won't play the whole trailer because it's not really relevant, clearly. But I just want to point out, this bit here, I'm a big fan of this map in the background. That just looks cool. But anyway, yeah, let's move on. This week we're going to be continuing to talk about the economical part of the game. Last week we talked about the different items in the monthly budget, and now we'll be continuing with explaining some of the core concepts of the economy. Please be aware that all images here are tooltips or parts of tooltips, and some are very much work in progress. So, yeah, lovely. We're talking about a little bit of tooltips, and I guess this is going to be us hovering over, to have features explained. EU4 did not have the depth of tooltip system that later games, I think CK3 started it, with tooltips in tooltips, and Johan seems to be a bit of a fan of nested tooltips, so hopefully, or probably, we'll be getting a bit of that in EU5. So, we'll start with loans, which work a fair bit differently than any other previous Paradox Grand Strategy game. At first glance, it's kind of similar to previous games, where you can take a loan, you get money, and you pay interest on it for a set period of time. However, in Project Caesar, there are some new changes. Let's take a look at this work-in-progress tooltip for taking a loan. So, we take out a loan for 23 ducats for 60 months with a yearly interest of 10%, and you get loans from the estates. Yo. Okay. Loans aren't just coming out of thin air now. Because, let's be honest, right? Previous GSG, we're talking about EU4. In EU4, you had a loan cap. You could take out, let's say, your loan cap of 71 loans based on your economy, your income. And if you tried to take a loan, or you ran out of money when you had filled up this loan cap, you had to declare bankruptcy. Here, it looks like there is a maximum amount of money available for you to go into debt with. I like that a lot. I like that a heck of a lot. And also 10% interest is crazy, yes. In this game, you're not borrowing money from an abstract national bank, but instead your internal loans are taken from what the estates have made available. The estates invest money they have, not only in immediate gains for their own power, or other ways to benefit the country, or other redactedness, but they also invest in having money available for the country, where they will benefit from the interests. If there's no money to borrow from the estates available, and you have no ducats left, you go bankrupt, which is a little bit more severe than in, let's say, EU4. It's pretty severe in EU4. It is not a good thing to happen in EU4. If it's a little bit more severe than that, that's interesting. That's certainly yeah, let's say with interesting. There's also another way to get gold. You can send a diplomat to one of the banking countries, like Perusi and Bardi, if that is one that you know of within diplomatic range. Okay, that's now a thing, confirmed. To request a loan. Make sure you don't forget to pay them on time or default on the loans, or you may never be able to loan from them again. Oh, wow. Okay. We have a very new loan system, and this is way more tangible. This is much more interesting than the regular way the EU4 does loans. I like this so much. So let's continue by taking a look at the tooltip for a location, so we can quickly have a reference to some important aspects in the rest of this development diary. So here we have Kalmar, obviously in Sweden. The town of Kalmar is in the province of Östra Småland. For anyone wondering, the A with the dot, the circle above it, that sounds like an O. So every time you see a YouTuber try and pronounce the province in the south of Sweden and they say Skane, Skåne. I'm learning Swedish, or I'm trying. Anyway, so it's in the province of Östra Småland and is owned by Sweden. So we can see it has a population, raw material of stone. Okay, that's something new and interesting and something we like to see. We have a dominant religion, dominant culture, a tax base, what market it's in, it's food. It's not a amount of food, but a change in food rather than like not a stockpile, let's say. It's climate, its topography, and its vegetation. And now some placeholder icons. All right. So you'll notice the line of food above. You see that Kalmar is not self-sufficient in food and needs to rely on the rest of Östra Småland for food, unless they buy it from the local market. So Kalmar produces 7.88 of food due to these things. Looks like slaves produce a completely nominal amount. Well, it's like 0 points. I'm not even trying to do the math. It's some order of magnitude, whatever. And then it is modified by it being continental, the river flowing through it, it being coastal. A town reduces it. And these, I guess, are the laws or what they called edicts or policies. I can't remember. We saw them in a previous dev diary. I can't remember the name of them. But we have traditional economy, serfdom. Peasant estate satisfaction is high, so then we got that, and then feudal administration as well. And then there is an consumption, and the peasants here. I believe this might be an old tooltip, because didn't peasants get renamed to commoners? Or is this simply just a localization thing, where commoners in Sweden get named peasants? That might be a thing, maybe. But I was under the impression that they had been renamed to commoners, but maybe I was wrong. Even the small town of Kalmar needs food from nearby locations. Primarily, there are a lot of burghers here that consume a lot of food. There's also a lot of modifiers that impact how much food the location produces as well. If the granaries in Östra Småland are close to full, we could sell their surplus to the local market in Riga, but only get about 56% of the profit, as we have only 56% control in Kalmar. If the entire province lacks food, we would have to buy food at 100% of the current price in the market. The price for food is different in each market and depends entirely on how much food is sold to that market. That's an interesting way of doing the market system. That's trade. Are we going to be doing this for more than just food, though? That is a question we do not have the answer to. We mentioned taxes in last week's Tinto Talk and specifically mentioned tax base there. The tax base of an estate is based on the total of all their tax base in all the locations that they are present in. So in Kalmar here, tax income is gained from taxing the profit buildings. Okay, we've finally, we kind of had it confirmed when talking about the bailiff a long time ago, but buildings are confirmed. And resource gathering operations. RGOs. RGOs return! The return of the RGO. Let's actually go. This is This is a term from Victoria too. I can't believe we're getting RGOs again, and I feel like that's more than just a trade good, right? An RGO is it's a bit different. It's a bit more, it's a bit of a throwback, let's be honest. But yeah, no, that's pretty exciting. The amount you can tax depends on the control of the location. So the tax is currently at 0.42 because of the control. The potential is 0.44, the maximum of 0.76. So basically, it's as it was clarified for us before. A province has, or a location has a maximum tax base, and you have your control determines how much of that is actually taxed. It was clarified a bit later as well that bandits or rebels can make use of the wealth, I guess, the lack of control in that way. So, lack of control means they might be a bit stronger, so you can take that to assume that maybe there's some banditry going on and stealing the wealth in that way. Find the error in the tooltip. I'm not going to spend that much time doing that. It's probably a percent thing. I need to grab out a calculator. No, I'm good. I'm good. Also, yeah, here is an interesting tidbit. Nobility, clergy, burghers, and Bundesständet. Bunde is, I'm pretty sure, like, serf. Et is the... Stund. I can't remember what stund is, but yeah, no. I think this is like a serfdom kind of thing. My Swedish is not very good, so take that as you will, but that's there. We're slowly increasing our control over Kalmar up to 58.2%, so the tax base will slowly be increasing, and if we would get it to 100% maximum, it would get even bigger. As you can see here, the nobility and burghers have a fair bit of power here, and the peasants have basically none. Currently, we're able to tax more from the burghers each month, and could possibly go above the 25% tax rate we've currently set on their estate. Yes, we can see the tax rate here, and how much we're taxing them from their slice of this pie. To clarify, only the money that is in the potential row exists, and anything you don't tax on that goes to the estates. So you get 0.05 ducats there, perhaps more, but paradox rounding, and the remaining 0.37 goes to the estates. Alrighty then. So yeah, here currently we get 0.42. Is that what we currently get, or is that what everyone gets together? No, this is what everyone gets together. We get 0.05 and they get the rest. Okay. So, onto raw materials, onto our RGOs. As you notice in the tooltips above, we talk about raw materials and resource gathering operations. Every location has one raw material possible that can be extracted. This includes things like lumber, stone, grain, amber, or copper. Of course, there are other ways to get access to the raw materials than simply owning and controlling a location. Only peasants and slaves will work on gathering raw materials, and how many will work with it depends on how big of an infrastructure you've built up for that. Pops that are working with this will not be producing food unless the goods are food related. The maximum size of an infrastructure that can be built up depends on population development technologies and societal values. So I think this is sort of confirming that we already knew that there wasn't going to be building slots. That is something that Johan has already declared. But maximum size of infrastructure means we're going to have, say, a building that can be upgraded, including with technology. So I guess that's sort of similar to like what we have now. You can change your workshop into a counting house once you reach tech 21, I want to say. I'm probably forgetting what the actual technology is. But I think this is going to be more akin to Imperator, where you can, I guess, build another workshop on top of your workshop to get two workshops and that sort of way. That seems more like that. I mentioned buildings in one tooltip earlier. Next week, we'll talk about how they work in Project Caesar. Okay, so I don't even need to speculate. We can just wait until next week. But let's have a look here. Kalmar produces one stone each month with 1,000 peasants or slaves. These are then sold for 0.7 ducats in Riga market. Okay, so goods are also market-based. Nice. When fully upgraded, Kalmar can support 12,000 working with it. Expanding mines in Kalmar will cost 44 gold. Take 180 days without employment of 1,000 peasants or slaves in stone mines. During construction, it will require access to the following goods in Riga Market. Oh! Oh my gosh! Let's fucking go! That's huge! That is huge! That's huge. Construction is going to require resources and not just gold. You can't just leave that at the end of Dev Diary in a goddamn picture and just like, oh yeah, no, we're going to talk about it next week. That's so mean. That is such a huge change. That's a huge change. Say you're not going to be able to build fortresses unless you have access to stone. You can't build these mines unless you have access to lumber. And what else is there going to be that requires raw materials, right? We see up here that amber is a raw material. What building is going to require amber? Are we going to require copper to build cannons? Are we going to require iron for that? Is there going to be things that aren't raw material, like raw materials and resource gathering operations? I don't know why they're like split there. Are we going to have basically what I have been asking for EU5, where we have our raw material resources, your things that you can mine, you can chop down, that you can extract, your extraction materials, and also your manufactured goods. I would love to see that. I would love to see manufactured goods like, silks and cloth and all that kind of stuff that requires raw materials to make these things. Oh my gosh, the possibilities. We're gonna have lumber and we can turn it into planks, and then our Fletcher is going to steal all of the planks to make warbows. That's a different thing entirely. But no, this is exciting. This is super, super exciting. Yes, I am very, very happy with this. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, so this is, look, Johan's, he is a benevolent god. For sure. This is accurate. But this is just a map. This is not the big thing in this dev diary. It just isn't. RGOs are 100% the big thing. Oh, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I hope you guys are too. I will be doing another dev diary just before the next one. No, I will not be doing a dev diary. I'll be doing another video where I go over the comments that Johan will have been writing. Oh, that's based. That's based. Okay, you know what? You get a love heart for that, Old Sealand. That's actually that's pretty based. I will be doing another video in a few days, probably again just before the next one, where we have a look at all of the replies that Johan has been making and see if there's anything else that can be gleaned from his postings, because there's always something. So if you would like to see that, drop me a subscribe, a follow, a like would be appreciated, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you as excited for this new economic system as I am? Because, loans, way cooler in this, and the RGOs, man. Think of the RGOs. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.